call Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakak Kodash. I want to give a double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied and rule well for the hopeful 144 and the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of Great Millstone. Shalom to you Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. It's your brother Kanan, and this will be titled Gag Order, okay? And basically, we're in that season where Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to shut this down. All the teaching and preaching, from the highways to the byways to getting on these devices, whether it be your cell phone or your computer, and doing these lessons at home in transit. He's about to put it into all of this, known as the famine of the word, okay, which is spoken of in the scriptures, and we're going to get, okay. Now we see it's coming down now, through legislation, through the wicked rulership, okay. Want nothing to do with being exposed. All right. So first of all, I would like to get that gag order.
Gag order.
A judge's order that a case may not be discussed in public. Okay, and what's the case? The case is of Esau's crimes. Okay, spilling out from every angle. No longer being contained. Now, ultimately, this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, but in the heart of Esau, he's in control of information. Who can hear this and who can hear that? Remember, the media is part of his witchcraft and devices that he uses to lull people to sleep and to try to pull the wool over your eyes, like as in Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. Okay. A gag order is an order, typically a legal order by a court or government, restricting information or comment from being made public or passed into any unauthorized third party. Who is that unauthorized third party? The people, okay? The common people, who the elites look at as peasants, as cattle, okay? We don't need to know what they're planning, what they're plotting, okay? This is the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and 11. And behold, another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. And that dragon goes into Draconian, okay, which goes all the way back to a ruler in Athens, okay, probably most likely around the time of the Maccabees, okay. We in that Roman rulership, they had the same political system set up as today. Your so-called Democrats and Republican, which back then the two parties were plebeians and prescriptions. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but and it was the same thing set up as an illusion to have the people to think that they had a choice, when the whole time they was under a strict authoritarian, okay, which once again that dragon goes into Draconian, and it's harsh laws being made, okay, and at the time of this happening, they give you bread and circus to keep you asleep. That's what funny how they hate the woke, okay? Even though the woke supposedly stands for everything wicked, what is the opposite of being woke? Being sleep, being dumbed down, okay? So that dragon is speaking loudly today, loud and clear, okay? And I'm gonna give you an example of what the dragon would say. I was gonna hold on to this, but we might as well get to it, okay? Once again, this is my fair use, copyright, fair use, section 107, stating that I am not using this for sales purposes. This is only for educational. I just saw a little reminder.
To hear these comments. Watch this.
Problem of Israel
is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there.
So see, the enemy is speaking loud to our people. The enemy, Edom, is speaking loud to our people. The other 17 nations, Psalms 83, they are all in league, and they're in a council set against Yasharallah. Okay, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. Okay, so that is part of the dragon speaking. You best believe if they speak that out loud behind closed doors, they're plotting on a way to shut this so-called African American up. And once again, when they say that African American, they're not speaking on Pookie, Ray, Bishop, Dillard. No, they're speaking on the brothers on the highways and the byways, the brothers doing these lessons that have been touched by Yahweh Bashmi Shah, the hopeful election. Those who tell you that we are who this world so-called refers Israel. Okay, over here, majority over here serving captivity in Babylon, but we're scattered to the four corners of the earth. Okay, so that's who we are. We're coming back into our understanding. They don't want anything to do with it. Okay, they remember they want to erase us from existence. This is the book of Proverbs 28, starting at verse 1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth. Okay, we're not doing anything but calling them out. See, we're just the messengers. We're not here threatening to go to pick up arms against Esau, and we're threatening we're going to do this and that, even though that they like to make us out in that light. That's not who we are. We're just the messengers. You know, we're giving word from Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, so when they get all angry and upset about it, you don't get upset about people worshiping other gods. You don't get upset about people doing these holidays, serving fake Santa Clauses and whatnot. But when we turn and say that we know that our power is Yahweh Bashim Shah, suddenly it comes offensive. Okay, so once again, this is Proverbs 28 and 1. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. That's right, because he set us up to do this work. It's not of our own will. We just didn't wake up and decide this is going to be a new hobby. No, Yahweh Bashim Shah has put this in the heart of his prophets to prophesize the downfall of this wicked kingdom. And that's what we got to do. Okay, skipping down, moving down to verse 5, Proverbs 28 and 5. Evil man understand not judgment. That's right. Starting with the council, with the rulers of this earth, the wicked. Okay, they don't have good judgment because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has taken it from them. But they that seek Yahweh Bashim Yahushua understand all things. That's right. The illuminated, the Illuminati, baby, on the righteous side. Okay. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perversed in his ways, though he be rich. Now, who is the rich? World Economic Forum is full of billionaires. Okay, they're coming together, sweating bullets. They're coming together, all nervous right now. Putting aside, not actually putting aside their wicked agendas, but making this agenda, the gag order, their number one priority right now. Shut these people up. Get this understanding that's out here out of view, out of mind, out of sight. Okay, because the more information that comes out, the more difficult it is for them to work their wicked enterprise, which is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay. All right. This is the book of Obadiah. One chapter, starting at verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Allah, power concerning Edom, the so-called proclaimed white man, self-proclaimed white man, okay? And different other nationalities before that, because everywhere he's going, he's lied about his identity, okay? We have heard a rumor from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, an ambassador. Who was the ambassadors? The men signing, crying on the highways to the byways and doing these lessons. Once again, whether it being present or at home. Okay. going out to all the corners of the world through via this internet. The Wadi Yahal Bashim Yahushai. Okay? An ambassador is sent amongst the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. And who is that? All the nations. Okay? Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. And what is the heathen? The other nations that are not associated to Yasharallah, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, and yes, also you speckled birds who look like other nationalities because we've been scattered, but your father's seed goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathens. Thou art greatly despised. Okay? And that's part of the information that they don't want to be put out here. Okay? The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose inhabitation is high, that saith in his heart, in his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? And what does being brought down to the ground mean? Loss of power. That's where you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics are right now, down on the ground. There's no power. That's why they can't can conceive. They don't have the idea of Jacob being next in control. Where's your military? Who is your leader? Where's your king? They don't acknowledge Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? And that's not just Edom, that's all the nations. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, your space stations, your satellites, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? And that's what robbers do. They don't just take every single thing up out of your possession. You know, they go after the valuables and then they keep it moving. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Okay. How are the things of Esau searched out? How is Esau being exposed in this day? Okay. How are his hidden things sought up? Okay. And see, that's the problem that Esau's having right now. His hidden things are being sought up. All right.
Tucker, editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, bemoaned the eradication of public trust in media and how journalists now actually have to show how they do their work. What a concept.
If you go back really not that long ago, as I say, we owned the news. We were the gatekeepers, and we very much owned the facts as well. If it said it in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, then that was a fact. Nowadays, people can go to all sorts of different sources for the news, and they're much more questioning about what we're saying. So it's no longer good enough for us just to say, this is what happened, or this is the news. We have to explain our working. So readers expect to understand how we source stories. They want to know how we go about getting stories. We have to sort of lift the bonnet, as it were, and in a way that newspapers aren't used to doing, and explain to people what we're doing. We need to be much more transparent about how we go about collecting the news.
And it's a stunning admission, weirdly self-aware and not self-aware at the same time.
Now, I'm going to give you a prime example of this, okay? 2001, 9/11 would not have taken place in 2023, 24. Not to the same exact day, man. If that event happened the exact same way, that the buildings came down, building 7, and all the things that went along with it that were being exposed back then, they wouldn't have been able to pull that off today with today's media and understanding of how information travels. It's not just what we say printed up. You know, newspaper has a way different influence than what we're capable of using these phones and pulling out and having eyewitness today. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, once again, how the things of Esau sought it out, okay? That's just an example. We're going to keep moving. I'm going to let these scriptures speak. This is the book of, and I'm saving the major part that I want to bring out on that, hopefully for this next point. This is the book of Psalms 64, starting in verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, King David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Once again, Psalms 83, okay? All of these nations are the enemy, all right? Including 2/3 of our nation. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, okay? From the insurrection of the works of iniquity, okay? Who weight their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, okay? Even bitter words. Once again, going back into that Revelations 13 and 11, he speaks as a dragon, okay? That they may shoot in secret at the perfect, the men of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They fear not the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, okay? They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying snares privately. They say, who shall see them, okay? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thoughts of every one of them, and their heart, their mind is deep, the inward thoughts of wickedness, okay, of mischief. But Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. And you see that broadcaster is a part of them, Robbie. He's a part, who the person reporting on them, he's a part of their nation, okay? And many of them have been and have been made to expose themselves, okay? So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So, hey, that's one reason Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is giving us this task, to give you warning, to warn his people. You know, these other nations, they see it, they hear, they take heed of the warning, but we don't. We too busy still doing the shake that ass and dance TikTok. You know, trying to see where we can come up and get a quick piece of this devil's pie, okay, that's already expired, you know? All right.
Have the ability that the gatekeepers no longer have the ability to block the way they used to, and to curate exactly what news makes it through.
Yeah, everything she was saying there is descriptively correct. The question is, you're trying to read her tone.
Right.
I think it's a little bit like she's saying this and that's bad.
Right.
Whereas I would say,
yeah, she's saying it's bad. She's saying enough of this information coming out. She's not saying it's a good thing that they have to be checked. She's telling everybody that back in the day, what we said went. Now all of a sudden you got all these fact checkers, okay? What they call it, CRT, critical history, something, whatever. What was another saying? They conspiracy theorists. You do your research on that and get back to me.
everything she just said, and that has some downsides, but it has also a tremendous amount of positives that the media now feels, media institutions now feel pressure to explain how they arrive at their conclusions, how reporting works, why they choose to do the work that they're doing, and that they face robust competition from all corners of the media landscape, that there's a much broader and diversified ecosystem, including social media, including video, TV, radio, podcasts, and on and on and on, that there is no, there's no, journalism, it was always wrong for journalists to see themselves as this.
Now, not only is he correct, but that's the end goal. All of this must be shut down. All of this information at your availability is the enemy of a deceiver, of a liar. Okay, the truth is the enemy to a liar. Okay, so all of this access to the truth has to be taken away. Okay.
Elite credentialed profession, whereas you went to an elite school and you got a very special degree, and that made you now qualified to weigh in on affairs of state and the matters of the day. Actually, any journalism is a craft. It's a practice. It's like weightlifting or something. You get stronger, you get better. The more you do it, the more you do reporting. Everyone is capable of doing it. People like Julian Assange have shown that there's no special category of people. Anyone who works to publish information.
Now we know the scriptures say Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has chosen the things that seem strange to man to confine them. He did not go after your scholars. You know, we have smart people, educated men in this truth, but he did not choose all the educated men. This is not something that you go and sit in the classroom and you get a document saying that you're ready to teach. No, this is the will, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai being poured upon his prophets. Okay, and the prophets come from all mannerism of man that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has already preordained and chosen. Okay, so yeah, no documentary paper can get you this understanding.
That the public ought to know, that it's in the public interest, is engaged in the work of journalism, and that is a good thing that more people are doing that. The technology exists. That was the major innovation. That it used to just be very hard to,
right.
It's hard to run a newspaper,
to publish your own stuff independently.
Now it is easy, anyone can do it, and I think that's better. And it has made the conversations wilder, and you have to be careful because there's a lot of wrong, false, misleading information out there, what the fact checkers and the misinformation people are always warning about. But the issue is there used to be false, bad information produced by the mainstream journalism institutions, and they didn't compete with each other as much, so they weren't calling each other out. Now we have this dynamic where there's an entire right-wing media apparatus, there's an entire left-wing media apparatus, there's the mainstream media, and there's all these platforms, and they're all fighting all the time, so you have to decide for yourself who you trust and which story you think is right. But that's better when it's all just a handful of companies saying the same things.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't entirely poo-poo the concern of how do you understand what the truth is. I think you're right to say that wasn't a concern that was born fully grown out of Zeus's head overnight in the advent of social media. It has always been the case. But these days, I do think there is perhaps more of an opportunity.
I think the point has been made. Normally, I don't agree with this guy, Robbie, on anything he's saying, especially when it comes to this situation with Israel and Gaza. And I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying he's a straight up, looks like he's a little hatter every time he speaks on that. But everything he just spoken right there had truth to it, okay? Bottom line, they used to have everything under their grasp when it came to information. Now they don't. And let me give you an example of that. Look at this. Top UN officials found guilty of orchestrating October 7th false flag attack in Israel. And see, that's why I didn't want to say too much earlier about 9/11. Listen, the only thing that Ben Not a Jew has said that was correct since he opened his mouth since October 11th was this was our 9/11. What is 9/11? An inside job. Once again, you pull that bullshit off today, the way they did it, it would not fall through. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even attempt to do that today because it was just be so many holes in it. You know, people said the fucking planes was holograms. The goddamn buildings came down like a carbon footprint. They was imploded. Okay, I was in a fucking Holiday Inn with 15 levels and a airplane crashed into that boy, and we all survived. We walked up out of there. Only the 2 levels had injury. The airplane was destroyed, obviously, and the 2 top levels of a 15 story building was destroyed while we was able to walk up out of there. So no, those towers did not get taken down by planes, okay? But just once again, that's the difference with today's information and yesterday's information. Today's information, you can't control the truth. It's going to get out, okay? Whether people hear or forbear, like Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said, give them warning from me, okay? So yeah, that's the only thing I agree with Ben Nadaju, since this whole situation's open. He's opened his mouth. He said that this was our 9/11. He said that day one too. Okay. Yeah, he did. Hey, he exposed we're just lying to do what we want to do. Okay. This is the man. These people are fucking crazy. This is the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Abba Father, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. You hear that? Of hearing this word. This is your last chance to get it. Like they say at the club, last call for alcohol. You gonna sit on your ass and keep lollygagging, or you gonna stand up and get that extra shot? Okay. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and shall not find it. Okay? It's going to be over. All right? And that day, hey, that's it. Wrap it up. Okay? I'm going to back that up right here with the book of Ezekiel, (3 and 26). And I will make thy tongue to cleave to the roof of thy mouth. And who is that? The prophets who are warning you right now, that thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt not be able to Salakia, and shall not be a. All right, I'm just going to start over. Ezekiel 3 and 26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth. Once again, that's the men prophesizing to you, giving you warning, that thou shalt be dumb. Dumb means speechless, okay? And shall not be to them a reprover. So it won't be no more trying to encourage you to do the right thing, to repent to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, for they are a rebellious house. And that's to our 2/3 of our nation, to you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. We're not doing this for anybody else, okay? And at this time, the election will be sealed, so there will be no more need for this work, all right? And I got one more video for you.
Party that numbers or statements or whatever information is coming out of another party that obviously has its own interests and is self-interested, as all parties are. Right now there's a story going on coming out of Australia where there's been a no confidence vote for ABC Australian Broadcasting leadership, partly because they forced their employees to not use the word genocide, for example. So I'm also really interested within legacy media, the internal fights that folks are having about these standards that are coming from the top down that don't seem to be dictated by necessarily journalistic integrity, or saying we're going to let the editorial board say this, and these employees can say this, and these employees can say that, but having these top-down edicts. How can these institutions really lay any claim to any kind of journalistic integrity or objectivity when they're just pressing their own bottom line, as so many people are across these different platforms?
What did they say? They told the employees not to say the word genocide in their reporting, or what?
Yes, the head, I think his name is Anderson, gave this following edict. He told the staff there had been a recent directive that the word genocide could not be used to describe the Israeli military campaign in Gaza, even when quoting someone, without it being, quote, upwardly referred to a manager, but that, quote, we can talk to any of the victims of the Hamas October 7th massacre, which we should, and we put that to air. Quote, it's only ever one side of things that really has motivated me and I want to speak about. This is from a reporter who's talking to the press and frustrated about it, named Lyons. He said staff were also often, quote, thrown under the bus by management, and staff are beginning to self-censor.
I think you get the drift on that. I think you get the point. I knew when this, based on scriptures as such as he will cause the least of them to draw them out. I knew when they got to talking about all that anti-Semitic, and Semitic not being nowhere mentioned in the Bible, not one person ever being able to come to me with a understanding of how that is acceptable, because we know in this truth that there's no such thing as, so we wouldn't be pushing it. Okay. Shem, the son of Noah, is the father of nations, okay, just like Japheth and Ham. All right, but anyway, with that being put to, I knew that they was going to use this situation with Israel and take it there. And once again, the first video I showed you, so-called African Americans, which is Judah, is the threat to them. What is the threat? The truth is the threat to the lie. Okay, therefore, that's why they want their gag order. All right. This is the book of, oh, right there. I was in it. Revelations 13. And this is the type of information we're giving you. So take heed right now. All right, because this is what's coming. This is all going down. Prophecy is coming down in order. Once again, Elder Apostle Tahar named this the year of hopeful Jacob's trouble, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not disappointing. So this is Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bound, to receive a mark in their hand, in their right hand, or in their forehead. And that's this statement right hand, because that's majority of you people are right hand dominant. It's going to be in whatever hand is your strength hand, okay? Or once again in your forehead. And we even say, those who like to mock it say, what if you get in your ass cheek? We'll go along and be our guest, okay? Wherever you get that mark, it's not going to be forgiven from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, okay? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had that mark, okay? And we know that mark goes into charagma, okay? And charax, which is to be implanted, stamped, appelled, okay? Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, so we know that's the major prophecy that's coming down, and while they're out here promoting it is sweet and is a something that will be good for you, the true men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are going to warn you against such things, which are the devil's devices, okay? And they know that we have an influence. So what do they want to do? They want to cut it off. They want to cut off the information, which also goes into the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right? This is the book of Jeremiah 51 and verse 1. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind, okay? And this is where we are today. Today, these sleeper cells are here. This immigration, that's another thing they don't want you talking about. While they're taking your tax money and feeding it off to these immigrant soldiers, okay, that are coming in here for your destruction. And here it goes. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble, whose trouble? Jacob's trouble, which is trouble for the whole earth, they shall be against her around bout. Now those soldiers are coming in groves, in thousands, okay? And not only are they coming in, they're being fed, homed, and taken care of on your tax dollar, and they're here for your demise, to destroy you, okay? So that was just a little fair warning. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has already got this all going in motion, okay? And there's no turning back. Okay? This is the book of Jeremiah 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers. That's what we're doing right now. We're giving you warning from Yahweh Bashim al Shai. We're telling the nation of Yasharala, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, and Hispanics to repent, turn back to the power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? Turn away from these whorehouses, turn away from these other religions, turn away from your selfishness, and turn back to the true power, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. We're telling the other 17 nations that, hey, it's your downfall. For Esau is the end and Jacob is the beginning, not Moab, okay? Not Japhet, not Ammon, not Ham, okay? And definitely not another tribe of Edom, okay? You will be going into captivity. So that's what we're doing. We're telling them, okay? Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and they shall fish them. Who? The hope, fish for the hopeful election. And yes, we're going to catch good fish and bad fish. The bad fish will be sorted out through the nets of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? And after will I send many hunters, okay? And that's what we pray for. That's when he will raise that standard and put those powers upon the elect men of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. And that's exactly what you do, what you're doing. You're building these doomsday bunkers and such and such, and if you're all over the world in them, and they're the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's host, this army, including the men who are now down here, his saints teaching, those who he raised that standard in, they will be pulling you out of those bunkers, okay, and even out of those space stations, wherever you are, all right? The water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, okay? I pray that this has been edifying to the body. This is Jeremiah 30, starting at verse 6. Ask now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Okay, do men bear children? Do we hold them for 9 to 10 months and then deliver them through from our bowels? No. Okay, where do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail? Okay, so why does it look like men are going into about to have the baby? Okay, all right, because fear and all faces are turned into paleness. We've all seen the cartoons. Flintstone, every cartoon, Scooby-Doo. When they tense up and you see that fear come on them, the ghost jumps out their body. They can't move. That stiffness comes over them. That's fear. That's the fear that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is talking about. Remember the Miami mall event that just took place at the beginning of this year? More of that to come. Okay? More terrors like that to come. Arise, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who? But I thought Jacob was going to be saved. No, the election. He who has that the mark of protection from Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The rest is set for the slaughter. 2/3 is set for the slaughter. 17 nations for the slaughter. Other than those who the hunters will pull up out of those rocks to be the first round of servants, slaves, okay? The will of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Once again, this has been Gag Order. It's here, okay? We're here. The legislation is here, and we're right around the corner from the event taking place that's going to shut all of this down, all of this information, all right? I pray that this has been edifying to the body. Shalom.